What if I told you that the person you have been praying to become is only 14 days away? Not 14 years, not someday. 14 days of decision, 14 days of discipline, 14 days of refusing to negotiate with your lower self. Most people are waiting for a breakthrough, but they are not willing to break their habits. They want transformation without tension. They want growth without sacrifice. But greatness responds to structure. It answers discipline. It bows to consistency. For the next 14 days, you are not chasing success. You are building identity. And when identity shifts, everything shifts. Most people lose their day before it even begins. They wake up and immediately surrender their mind to notifications, messages, and other people's demands. The morning becomes a reaction instead of a creation. But if you want to transform your life in 14 days, you must first win your morning. The morning is not just a time of day. It is a territory. And whoever controls that territory controls the direction of their life. When you wake up earlier than necessary, you are making a declaration to yourself that you are no longer a prisoner of urgency. You are choosing intention over impulse. The early hour carries a power that cannot be found in the noise of the afternoon. It is quiet. It is undisturbed. It allows you to meet yourself before you meet the world. And the person who meets themselves daily builds self-awareness, clarity, and strength. Use that hour, not for entertainment, but for alignment. Sit in silence and observe your thoughts instead of being ruled by them. Think about your vision. Think about who you are becoming. Think about the habits that need reinforcement and the behaviors that need elimination. Reflection is not laziness. It is strategic preparation. A day that begins with clarity rarely collapses into chaos. When you consistently win your morning, you build internal authority. You stop negotiating with your comfort. You prove to yourself that you can lead your own life. Each time the alarm rings and you rise without argument, you strengthen discipline. And discipline is not punishment, it is empowerment. It trains you to act based on purpose, not mood. The morning is also the seedbed of identity. If you begin your day rushed, distracted, and reactive, you reinforce an identity of disorder. But if you begin focused, calm, and intentional, you reinforce an identity of leadership. Identity is shaped by repeated behavior. 14 mornings of intentional living can shift how you see yourself. And once self-perception changes, performance follows. After mastering your morning, you must master your mouth. Words are not empty sounds. They are creative forces. Every time you speak, you are building something, either a future or a limitation. Many people sabotage their own growth because they speak carelessly. They rehearse problems instead of possibilities. They magnify obstacles instead of opportunities. For the next 14 days, become aware of your speech. Listen to yourself. Notice how often you complain, criticize, or doubt. Complaining is a confession of powerlessness. It declares that circumstances are stronger than you, but you were not designed to be dominated by circumstances. You were designed to influence them. When you speak vision consistently, your mind begins to search for ways to fulfill it. Your words instruct your subconscious. If you repeatedly say, "I can't," your mind will obey and look for evidence of incapacity. If you repeatedly declare, "I am growing, I am learning, I am becoming disciplined," your mind will align your behavior with that declaration. Controlling your mouth also means speaking less and listening more. Wisdom grows in silence. When you talk excessively, you reveal immaturity. When you listen attentively, you gain understanding. A disciplined tongue reflects a disciplined mind, and a disciplined mind is capable of extraordinary achievement. During these 14 days, refuse to participate in gossip. Refuse to entertain negative conversations that drain your energy. Protect your words like valuable currency. Speak with intention. Speak with clarity. Speak with purpose. The person who governs their mouth governs their atmosphere. And when your atmosphere changes, your results begin to shift. Your mind is the most valuable real estate you will ever own. Everything you will ever build in life must first be constructed in your thinking. If your mind is neglected, your life will reflect that neglect. If your mind is nourished, your life will expand in proportion to that nourishment. For the next 14 days, you must become intentional about what you allow into your mental environment. Every day, read something that stretches you, not something that entertains you, but something that educates you. 10 pages a day may seem small, but small disciplines practiced consistently produce large transformations. Information reshapes perception. Perception reshapes decisions, and decisions reshape destiny. When you expose your mind to new ideas, you challenge old limitations. You begin to question beliefs that have quietly held you back for years. Most people operate from inherited thinking. They repeat what they heard growing up. They act based on assumptions they never examined. But growth demands examination. It requires you to confront comfortable thoughts and replace them with empowering ones. When you read, listen to powerful teachings, or study principles of leadership and self-mastery, you upgrade your internal operating system. Your mind is soil. If you plant doubt, fear, and negativity, you will harvest hesitation and mediocrity. If you plant discipline, faith, courage, and knowledge, you will harvest confidence and action. The quality of your life is determined by the quality of your thoughts, and thoughts are shaped by exposure. For 14 days, reduce exposure to noise that weakens you. Limit mindless scrolling. Limit conversations that revolve around drama. Protect your mental space with intention. Learning also builds humility. The more you learn, the more you realize how much there is to discover. Humility keeps you teachable, and a teachable person is unstoppable because they are always evolving. Growth is not automatic with age. It is intentional with effort. Feeding your mind daily is an act of self-respect. It declares that you value your potential enough to invest in it. But mental discipline alone is not enough. The body must align with the mind. Discipline your body to strengthen your spirit. The body was designed to serve your purpose, not dominate your choices. Yet many people are ruled by comfort. They only act when they feel like it. They only move when it is convenient. They only push themselves when conditions are perfect. For the next 14 days, move your body with intention. Exercise even when you don't feel motivated. Walk, run, stretch, lift, not merely for appearance, but for authority. Physical discipline trains your will. Each time you push past discomfort, you remind yourself that feelings are temporary, but commitment is permanent. There is a direct connection between physical movement and mental clarity. When the body is stagnant, the mind often becomes sluggish. When the body is active, the mind sharpens, energy increases, focus strengthens, confidence rises. You begin to carry yourself differently because discipline in one area spills into others. Physical training is not about perfection. It is about consistency. You are not competing with others. You are conquering yourself. Laziness loses its grip when you refuse to obey it. Comfort weakens when you challenge it daily. In 14 days of physical discipline, you begin to see yourself as someone who does hard things. And the person who can do hard things gains the courage to pursue bigger goals without hesitation. Clarity is power. If you do not know where you are going, you will accept anything that comes your way. Vision is what separates movement from progress. Many people are busy, but they are not advancing. They are active, but they are not intentional. For the next 14 days, you must write and revisit your vision every single morning, not once a week, not when you feel inspired. Every day, when you write your vision down, you force your mind to organize what your heart desires. Vague dreams produce vague results, but clear vision produces focused action. Writing transforms imagination into direction. It moves your goals from fantasy into responsibility. Once it is written, it becomes a commitment. Do not write what you fear. Do not write what you lack. Write who you are becoming. Write the discipline you are building. Write the character you are developing. Write the impact you intend to make. The act of repetition engraves belief into your subconscious. When you see your vision daily, it begins to influence your choices. You start asking yourself whether your habits align with the future you claim to desire. Vision also creates boundaries. When you know where you are headed, you say no to distractions without guilt. You reject opportunities that do not align with your purpose. You stop chasing everything and start pursuing what matters. A person without vision wastes energy. A person with vision conserves it for meaningful pursuits. Revisiting your vision every morning anchors you before the world tries to redirect you. Circumstances will attempt to adjust your focus. People will project their limitations onto you. Unexpected challenges will arise. But when your vision is written and reviewed consistently, it becomes a compass. It keeps you steady when emotions fluctuate. It reminds you why you started. Alongside vision, you must identify and starve one weak habit, not 5, not 10, 1. Transformation does not require overwhelming change. It requires strategic focus. There is one behavior in your life that consistently undermines your growth. It may be procrastination. It may be negative self-talk. It may be gossip, overeating, overspending, or constant distraction. Whatever it is, identify it clearly and confront it directly. Weak habits survive because they are fed. They are reinforced through repetition and justification. You tell yourself it is not a big deal. You promise to change tomorrow. You excuse the behavior because it feels comfortable. But comfort is often the enemy of calling. If you want to see who you can become, you must deny what keeps you small. Starving a habit means interrupting its pattern. When the urge appears, pause. Replace it with a stronger action. If you tend to procrastinate, take immediate small steps instead of delaying. If you speak negatively about yourself, replace those words with affirmations of growth. If you waste hours on distractions, set strict limits and redirect your attention to productive tasks. For 14 days, attack that one weakness with relentless awareness. Track your progress. Celebrate small victories. Do not expect perfection, but demand effort. Each time you resist the habit, you weaken its hold. Each time you choose discipline over impulse, you reinforce a new identity. You are not merely breaking a habit, you are reshaping who you believe you are. Identity is constructed by repeated actions. When you consistently act in alignment with strength, you begin to see yourself as strong. When you consistently act in alignment with focus, you begin to see yourself as focused. And the person you believe yourself to be determines the limits you accept or refuse. For 14 days, you woke up earlier and took control of your mornings instead of letting distractions control you. You mastered your first hour, and in doing so, you began mastering your direction. You chose silence over noise, reflection over reaction, intention over impulse. For 14 days, you disciplined your mouth. You stopped speaking weakness. You stopped rehearsing problems. You replaced complaint with vision and negativity with purpose. You understood that your words were not casual, they were creative. For 14 days, you fed your mind deliberately. You stretched your thinking. You challenged old beliefs. You planted seeds of growth instead of weeds of doubt. You treated your mind like valuable territory and guarded what entered it. For 14 days, you disciplined your body. You moved when you didn't feel like it. You embraced discomfort. You proved to yourself that you are stronger than your moods. And every time you conquered physical resistance, you strengthened mental authority. For 14 days, you wrote your vision and looked at it daily. You stopped drifting. You stopped guessing. You became clear. And clarity gave your actions direction. You no longer moved randomly. You moved strategically. For 14 days, you identified one habit that weakened you and you confronted it directly. You stopped feeding what was destroying you. You interrupted patterns. You replaced impulses with intention. And in doing so, you began reshaping your identity. Now look at yourself. You are not the same person who started. Your posture is different. Your thinking is sharper. Your confidence is deeper, not because something magical happened, but because you did. Transformation was never outside of you. It was waiting on your discipline.